President Trump is in Florida this weekend with his Senate impeachment trial nearing an end on Monday. Senators return to Capitol Hill for closing arguments. A final vote on the articles of impeachment is set for Wednesday. Ben Tracy is traveling with the president.
President Trump is spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Today tweeting out a picture of himself saying he's getting a little exercise on the golf course.
The yeas are 49, the nays are 51. The motion is not agreed to.
On Friday, Republicans successfully defeated Democrats' attempts to call new witnesses and subpoena documents in the Senate trial. A confident Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell left the Capitol with the president's allies now eager to end what they've long derided as the impeachment hoax.
It was a bunch of partisan in the House. It continued in the Senate. It's going to end Wednesday. The president's going to get acquitted. It's going to blow up in their face.
But in an ironic twist, it's now Democrats who are calling the impeachment trial a sham.
America will remember this day, unfortunately, where the Senate did not live up to its responsibilities, where the Senate turned away from truth and went along with a sham trial.
The senator from New York.
The Senate Minority Leader made one final and failed attempt Friday night to call the president's former national security advisor.
Mr. Chief Justice, I send an amendment to the desk to subpoena John R. Bolton.
Bolton says he's willing to testify, and according to leaks from his upcoming book, he has plenty to say. The New York Times reports Bolton claims that last May, President Trump directed him to help pressure Ukrainian officials to dig up dirt on his political opponents, just days after former Vice President Joe Biden officially announced his run for president. President Trump denies Bolton's allegations.
The truth is not going to come out 5 years from now. It's not going to come out 5 months from now. It's going to come out 5 days from now or 5 weeks from now. That's going to be on them.
The final impeachment vote is now scheduled for 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. President Trump still intends to give his State of the Union speech the night before, and we're told that he won't be focusing on impeachment, but rather the themes of his 2020 campaign. Ben Tracy, CBS News, Palm Beach, Florida.
And with the proceedings in the U.S. Senate trial for the removal of President Trump wrapping up this week, and since senators voted the 51-49 to block witnesses from testifying, Democrat Senator from Montana Jon Tester thinks the system failed the American people by not allowing witnesses.
The fact is the system failed. And it didn't fail because the Constitution was bad. It failed because the people who were enforcing the checks and balances forgot to read the Constitution. And I've got to tell you, I've listened for the last 10 days to the House managers put the prosecution forward. I've listened to the defense by the Trump lawyers. And I'm going to tell you, this is an open and shut case unless we can get some people from the White House like Mulvaney and Pompeo and others that will come in and say, under oath, this absolutely didn't happen. If they're willing to do that, and it isn't perjuring themselves, then I think it makes an entirely different trial out of it.
We will continue coverage of the impeachment. And just in, fire, smoke, and zero visibility on US 191 south of Judith Gap from milepost 17 to 18. Now, according to a report from Montana Department of Transportation, they're calling the fire Load Road Fire, causing a high priority condition and closing Montana 191 from Harlowton to Garneal. Now, winds and conditions continue to be horrific today. Take a look at this video from earlier on top of the Billings rims. Now, the gusts so strong, making it tough for even the camera to stay steady while the dust and tumbleweeds were flying around. A dust cloud was also developing on the west side of the town, creating a haze that could be seen from the rims. Turning now to weather with Rob Griggs. Wow, what a day. And those conditions causing this recent fire. It's crazy out there.
And not having any snow on the ground, it's been dry over the past couple of weeks, so all of that dust is just right in the air. The good news is the wind is going to start backing off here tonight, but you wouldn't know that right now looking in places like Lewistown and Helena, where wind gusts are in the 23 to 33 mile an hour range. Starting to back off a little bit over there in Livingston. Sheridan, though, still has 39 mile an hour wind gusts. How about Billings? Well, this is about as calm as it's been all day. Southwesterlies, 17 miles an hour. That's not bad at all, 51 degrees. And here are the headlines. Here are the big changes coming up. First of all, that wind will ease up late tonight, but then snow moves in on Sunday and all the way through Monday night. Colder temperatures will take over. How much snow in the Billings area? Well, could be 4 to 6 inches across the plains and a whole lot more in the mountains. We'll cover all those details with the forecast in just a bit, Zoe.
All right, thank you, Rob. A water line on the Billings north side broke earlier in the day, leaving about 12 homes without water. The break happened on North 18th Street around 4:30 p.m. today. The break created a hole in the pavement and sent water spewing for about an hour until crews could turn it off. Crews on the ground didn't know how the 12-inch water line ruptured, but estimated it would be done and fixed around 10 o'clock tonight. Stay with us, more to come on the 10 o'clock news. We're less than 24 hours away from the Super Bowl. We'll hear from two ride or die fans. Later in sports, a Cat Grizz doubleheader with first place in the conference on the line. High stakes in Missoula coming up.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.